Good morning. I'm Kristen Folletti, and welcome to News Desk on SiliconANGLE TV for Monday, May 6th, 2013. Friday, some Amazon.com users got an early preview of a never-before-seen Windows product before it was quickly yanked from the online retailer's e-shelves. Join us now to fill us in on what we may have missed is SiliconANGLE contributing editor John Casaretto. Hi, John. Good morning.
Good morning.
While Acer hosted a global press event in NYC Friday to show off some tablet hybrids, the first ever small screen Windows tablet made a brief appearance on Amazon.com before quickly being taken down. So, John, what device were some Amazon.com users exposed to?
Well, the device in question was Acer's their 8.1-inch Iconia W3810. It's the first small screen Windows 8 tablet that we've seen. To date, all of the Windows 8 tablets that have been released thus far were 10 inches or larger. And so this is a really big moment in that, we can expect this device to arrive and have, Windows 8. Originally when Windows 8 first came out, it was the time of 10-inch tablets. So, there's been a bunch of changes being made and a bunch of anticipation that this form factor was going to arrive, and they were going to enter this market of a smaller tablet altogether.
What did the Amazon page reveal about the upcoming Acer Iconia W3 in terms of the specifications that we can expect?
Well, yeah, there were a number of interesting things here. There's the 1280 by 800 display. Basically, some of the new specs have been reduced in order to meet this level of size, this form factor. So the first thing we notice is that it's moved into that realm, and that's very new. We have a 1.1 pounds form factor. We got Intel's dual core Atom CPU powering this thing, 2 gigs of RAM. It's interesting that we're looking at an x86 processor in this thing, which means that this new device will be able to run the full-blown version of Windows 8. So again, significant. It's not going to be Windows RT. We don't know what's going to happen with that long term, but we do know that it looks like Windows 8 coming in an 8-inch tablet, complete full version.
Microsoft's operating system was engineered before small-sized tablets like the Nexus 7 and Kindle Fire grew in popularity. So how has Microsoft been preparing to get up to speed in the tiny tablet realm?
Well, Microsoft, like a lot of vendors, put together a certification program that certifies certain products and lays out their basic specs and minimum specs in order to produce a product and carry the badge and sticker, and for it to be a product in that space. So, what has happened in the recent past is that the OS itself, its certification program, dropped the minimum allowable screen resolution for Windows 8 tablets, and it dropped it from 1366 by 768 to what we see here to 1024 by 768. So there's been that has happened. There's also been leaks that have come out from Windows Blue update, and it has a better functionality on the snap feature. It works great on tiny tablets. So a lot of little leaps in evolution here that are happening that definitely point the way to this Windows 8, this new 8-inch form factor.
So what do we know about Windows Blue? Is that going to be better equipped to handle these small tablet specifications?
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the benefits. Windows has been talking about this yearly refresh of Windows 8, on par with some of the other, touch interface OSs. This is the outcome of re-engineering, tuning to the market. We see a bunch of advancements in a bunch of specs. Chips get better, batteries get better, the operating system gets better. It only makes sense. They've been gearing up for this for some time.
So far, without a comparative 7-inch tablet, has Microsoft been struggling to compete?
Well, this is a fairly tight, this market has a fairly tight margin, and there's a lot of competition there. A lot of devices in this realm are fairly subsidized to some point. In their relative markets, you have Amazon, you got iPad, you got all the different markets that go on with that. Microsoft hasn't had a presence here, and it seems they want to fill this. They haven't, they're not quite getting to that 7-inch, that at this point with this particular device, but it seems like they're looking to step into that. This is a fairly interesting device because of the price point, because of the fact that it is a full Windows 8 device. There's going to be a lot of interesting things that come out of this.
How do you think an 8-inch tablet offering might change things for Microsoft?
Well, I think there's a number of great benefits here. We've got it's delivering again a full Windows 8 experience, all the apps, the backwards compatibility, if it's done with quality, at basically just $50 more than the iPad Mini, it qualifies this as major news. I mean, it could be a big hit.
What did the Amazon leak reveal about the Acer tablet price?
Yeah, interesting there. The most notable thing about the Amazon listing was the price, and at 379.99, it puts it, just above some of the really cheap Android tablets, and just a little bit above the iPad Mini. Again, differentiated by the fact that it is the full Windows 8 experience, and they're introducing that, at an attractive price.
With just under a $380 price tag and that full Windows 8 experience, as you mentioned, where do you think the Acer will compete with other tablets on the market?
Well, it remains to be seen. Windows is the largest software ecosystem that was ever built. And if you can get that in people's hands at that price point, I think that they'll sell well. I think a lot of people will be interested and maybe, take this on and maybe change their minds about Windows 8, or, just take a test run at that price. It's hard to turn it down. The proposition's really good. You've got, the Intel chipset, or the Intel chips, the Clover Trail, which beats most ARM chips just on nearly every task that there is. You got the full computing experience. You have a touch interface, x86 apps, full screen apps. You put people's Photoshop, Office, even games. We could be looking at a big win here. So I think it could be pretty competitive here. And again, this is the first of, who knows, many devices that may be on the way, that may be 8 inches, even 7-inch devices. It's hard to say, but so far this is a very compelling thing that is leaked out, and a lot of people, there's going to be some buzz about this.
John, you mentioned that Windows hasn't said much about what's going to happen to Windows RT. What do you think is the fate of RT with the introduction of this tablet that's going to be running Windows 8?
Well, I think that they're going to really leverage Windows 8. There's been talk that they've been lowering the price point for Windows 8 for these partners that make these devices, lowering the price of what they take as far as Office goes. So they're looking to deliver this thing, get Windows 8 out there, more or less, get that price point down there, and really try to spur more of this tablet development and capture more of that market. There's been some mixed news about the tablets and how well they've been doing across the board. I think that this could really help, and I think that there'll be a stronger focus on that. I'm not sure that if Windows RT is completely dead. They may come back to it at some point or make some developments along the way. But this might be the beginning of, that story coming to an end, or perhaps being reborn at some point down the line. What they originally had intended was a very light, a very, cheap, experience that you could do and get some lower cost tablets out there. And that might be the end game for them.
Well, John, thanks so much for sharing your thoughts with us this morning. Great to see you.
Thank you.
And coming up on News Desk, could the future of flight be at hypersonic speed? And is YouTube's paid subscription feature almost here? But first, SiliconANGLE founding editor Mark Risen Hopkins stops by to share news on what's happening with Bitcoin.